Judge on the drums here, Peter on the bass, we got Igor on the piano.
Jeg står herude foran det besatte hus i Saint Petersburg sammen med André og Vlad. André, du ville gerne vise mig lidt rundt i huset, så jeg kan se, hvordan det ser ud til Christiania seere.
Андрей, не покажешь ли нам, что же там внутри?
Да, конечно. Пошли, ребята. Пошли.
Ja, okay. Kom med indenfor.
Digter, møder og så videre tager afsted her.
Altså en form for salon.
Lige nu er det en slags renovering.
Fantastisk lokale til sådan en lidt fransk salon.
Слом до неба.
Ja, så det er en studio. Den sidste mandag spillede vi her sammen med Christiania. Det var...
Vi har jammet heroppe til den lyse morgen, her på de lyse nætter. Var det, er der mere, du vil vise? Er huset større?
Пойдемте дальше.
Det er et sted, hvor de alle teater, skuespillere, så de alle kan komme her.
Here is amazing light, and here is a very nice acoustic to experiment with.
Ja, vi er vist havnet lige midt i en øvre her. huset større. Hej, hej. Er det et lille hjem, eller hvad er det for noget? Hvad er det der? Kig ind. Du bor her og sover op på hemsen.
Ja, ja, спасибо.
Thank you, спасибо. Hvad er det her for et sted?
Ja.
It's like experimental place for do everything that you want. You can perform any performance here.
Let's check the bar. So should we enter sightseeing here?
Det kan vi gøre, ja. Man må så måske ikke tilbage.
Спасибо, Andrea. Спасибо, Georgi. Hej, hej. Hej. Træner I strubesang? Tror du, vi kan få en prøve?
Головой пение? Можно, да.
Ну что, дорогие друзья, большая честь для меня, должен сказать, быть здесь в студии радио Imagine на Жуковского 57. Здрасте еще раз, меня зовут Александр Сенин, у нас здесь по воскресеньям большой гостевой день. И сегодня, если вы смотрите нашу трансляцию в интернете, вы понимаете, что студия наша малюсенькая, на вид уже до отказа. Дело в том, что весь, по-моему, без исключения, христианский десант Петербурга сегодня перебрался к нам в гости, поэтому, может быть, вот Дмитрия Левковского и будет слышно. Дим, привет. Дмитрий,
Вот третья делегация Christiania приехала сюда. Все довольны, все счастливы. Развитие наше в районе Christiania называется теперь Ленинградский Underground, Leningrad Underground. Это, and this is official now. Хочу представить нашего друга Эрика Слойфи. You was there from beginning.
I was there from the beginning.
Он приехал первый раз. Он занимается в Christiania, он занимается телевидением.
В Christiania есть свое телевидение?
Да. I hope you're happy here. Yeah? Tell me how it goes here.
I'm very happy here. I'm very surprised to see Saint Petersburg in the fine shape it is. We want to thank Peter the Great, and we want Russia to be great again. Make Russia great again.
It is great already.
It is great.
С нами вместе здесь еще Ингрид Борум.
We are showing a lot of art from both Christiania and related other free town cities around, Danish art and art from abroad.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think that we in shorter time, a year perhaps, will represent Christiania art and posters, perhaps, if everything goes as I wish it will be shown here. I have a last thing I want to say. You see, the cultural center of the West is in New York. But I think that, in fact, we have to make sort of triangle Nuuk in Greenland, Christiania, and Saint Petersburg, and make a sort of balance, cultural balance. To compete with New York, because we are far stronger. We have the old culture here.
Okay.
Okay. We are the sleep therapists.
Да.
And we play music for those who cannot sleep.
Для тех, кто не может спать.
And for those who needs to wake up.
И для тех, кому надо проснуться. Вот так концепция звучит.
Hvad tager vi først?
I USA kunne jeg jo have fået billeder af Spider-Man og Superman og sådan noget, og her er det selvfølgelig Peter den Store, og jeg skal have I love it.
Christianias ambassade i Saint Petersburg er åbnet. Vi har også den inde i Holland, og vi håber, at det kommer mere Christiania-ambassader i verden, og vi skal samarbejde og præsentere kulturelle ting i hele verden.
Tanken er, at Christiania ligesom skal have ambassader i andre fristeder rundt omkring på kloden, og så skal de ligesom kunne have et fælles samarbejde og et kontaktnet og udveksling.
Præcis, det er vores mål faktisk. Det er også at snakke om teater og kunstnere og galleri. Alle sammen er velkommen.
Har du set det som en musikalsk udfordring?
Ja. Ja, enormt udfordrende. Jeg vil sige, de her russiske knægte, der er gang i dem. Der man skal op på galoppen. Ja. Det skal man. Men hernede, der kan de noget. Både med fisk og kaviar og vodka. Og det er sundt og russisk. Det her, det er professionel udveksling, vi har gang i stor stil. Altså, der foregår mange små handler, kan man sige. Og vi får nogle gode aftaler i hus. Rigtig gode aftaler, så jeg anbefaler alle at slå et visit til stedet. Det er ikke et dårligt sted at være. Meget billig kaviar.
Det var fandme godt. Det var helt særligt. Vi aldrig fik det. Det var alle de lande, vi aldrig fik se. Det var alle de ting, der aldrig blev til. Som præger aldrig fik sagt. Det var alle din kys, jeg aldrig fik smagt. Det var alle mine ønsker, jeg aldrig fik drømt dig. Som forbrænder mig. Sidder du der, mens jeg gemmer mig her. Er du færdig?
Vi har været på den her tur til Saint Petersburg. Hvordan har russerne taget imod jer?
De har været meget venlige. Man har sådan et billede af Rusland er meget stort og meget stygt, og ulvene og bjørnene, og man hører alt om deres politik og bureaukrati og sådan noget, men de har alle sammen sådan været forholdsvis nede på jorden og ikke været noget ondt.
Mikkel, vender I tilbage igen? Nu kan jeg se, at I lige skal have fred til at tørre. Vender I tilbage til Rusland igen?
Helt sikkert. Helt sikkert.
Det er et must for enhver progressiv christianit at opleve det her, vi har oplevet. Der er en ny by i Europa, som hvad er det? Ja.
Ой, можно я, пожалуйста, стих расскажу? Работает?
Har du noget heroin?
My name is Julia, my surname Эрмитаж. Там вот вообще просто клево. Ну все.
Det er fuldstændig eventyrligt at være over. Man kan snakke med alle mennesker. De er så søde.
Det har bare været fedt. Det er som at... Man kommer ind i sådan håbefuldt, eller sådan, der er så meget energi, der er så meget, der sprudler, ja. Det er simpelthen det bedste ord for det. Altså, der har været jams hver aften, hvor vi har boet. Nu skal vi den her vej. Der har været jams hver aften, hvor vi har boet. Altså, hvis man har lyst til at synge, eller slå på trommen, eller male et billede, eller tage et billede, eller whatever, så har der bare været mulighed for det. Der er en sprudlende kreativitet. Og der er så meget håb og så meget tro på fremtiden. Det er vildt fedt.
This is called the brass container, so to speak.
We have here Andrei Khlobystin, one of the most knowing people in this city, you know. He knows everything about underground, about Leningrad Underground, and about all these free art movements in this city. And he just finished this book, this one, She's a Revolution, it calls, yeah? So I want to invite him to Christiania so he can talk about it with people, you know, and explain how it was really in this underground system, you know, looking from the professional side. Because he's also a famous painter and all, yeah? So it's not only science.
Thank you, Dimitri, for the introduction, and Andre, wow. Alternative lifestyle in the 60s, how did it start here?
Here started the fashion movement. It was called Stiляги, and they were like enemies of the people because they were like agents of the West. This was the same movement which happened in States as a beatniks, as existentialists in France.
In the 70s?
No, it's a border of the 40s and 50s. So it was a movement. Yeah, but it's where people of different kind. For example, you know this Clock Orange?
Clockwork Orange.
Yes, this famous novel. So he was here in Saint Petersburg, in Leningrad, and met these Stiляги, these local beatniks, but they were like a criminals. So he wrote about them. They speaking slang of local beatniks, of local Stiляги. So sometimes they were like a criminal. Sometimes it were dandies. Sometimes golden youth, and so on and so on. They had no possibility to express themselves except like from music, dance, and I know officially they not or publish their paintings or even exhibit them. So it was like it was dangerous. Yeah, but from this time began the feeling of youth that it's not necessary to fight for the freedom. You should be free right now here. Yes, and it's at the late 80s, this feeling of life became stronger than official Soviet ideology. And all youth from very far parts of Russia listened these records, tape records. They saw movies with elements of this culture. At the late 70s and early 80s, the underground culture of non-conformist artists was connected with the culture of youth, with like a brutal, marginal culture of gangs, young gangs. And it was a figure, Timur Novikov, which united these two things, and he created a new wave culture here, which it was a culture with its own music, fashion, editions, literature, movies, and he was an organizer of the first squats here. Here, squats is not an ideological place of political process. It's usually a place for creativity. It was a time of perestroika, and was a lot of absolutely empty buildings with the heating, light, electricity, and it was a brilliant time for creativity because all people around were crazy. They afraid that the old world destroyed, all meanings gone. But for creative people, it was a time of freedom. You could change something not only your own self, but around you, like a sculptor. And it was very powerful feeling.
Yeah, I will ask you, in Christiania, we were all squatters. Illegal, we broke in, we pulled down the locks on the doors and started all over again. But as far as I understand, you never broke in. You made a deal with the owner, or how will you describe it?
Yeah, so it was usually squats. It's not a real name for this. It's buildings under reconstructions, and you pay some money for local, I don't know, bureaucrat or local policeman or local criminal, and you're living in the space. Because if they close the heating, you cannot survive at the winter here. So it's you cannot be absolutely free, at least. You need heating. Yes, at winter.
It was very peaceful squatting. You even had a kind of backup from Putin because we were told that he said to the oligarchs, if you have empty buildings with no work going on, it's up to the squatters.
You see, there is no youth as a marginal group here. Now it's like everywhere. It's a global youth. It's a lot of different groups of people. Yeah, and so it's about traditions. They should know. They have no idea. There is no textbooks. There is no courses at the university or any art school about this history. Yeah.
But there is now.
There is now, yes. And what also I would like to say, what is important, that non-conformists, this underground art of old school, these guys, they still fight with totalitarian power, and they understood power as a sex and repression at the same time. It's an old modernistic Freudist feeling of power. They were like victims or prophets or something like that. And at the photo pictures, there are a group of people very seriously staying with the pathos, such with the bears. But at the 80s came the generation, I don't know, my generation. It's where people which smile, they have fashion clothes, and they were free just right now and right here, and they understood that the powers of repression is over. Now it's a power of seduction, which makes this global information complex, mass media complex. It's a new power. They began to work with this pop culture, with mass media culture, and it was just for the 90s, and it was connected with the rave movement, new technology, and here it's had the forms of neo-academism. Old punks began to paint huge oil pictures with naked figures, and began to wear clothes as a dandy, like a 19th century style. So it was funny. And it was a rave.
All that was helped with Gorbachev's perestroika.
Yes, sure, but I think it's were connected things. They sung the words, and Gorbachev repeats them. These words in his talks. Yeah, it was they felt them like magicians. It's a very important side of this movement, but it's also trying to speak about that, about magic, of creativity, and how it's connected with the tradition of old Russian school, because it's based on old Byzantine isychastic movement. It's kind of Orthodox yoga. And so our first artists, kind of Rublev and Feofan Grek, which came from Byzantine Empire, they were monks. So for them to create art, it was like a spiritual process. He prepared himself with a special diet, he spoke with a god, and then he became a brush of God. He's not individual anymore. So he's brush of God, and he can sing the songs in hall in the church, or paint the icon, or work on the garden. Doesn't matter. It's a condition. You carry the balance. So this tradition of working with yourself, it's main in Russian art. And when the Western curators or artists trying to research it, they make a mistake. They see it's versions of different Western movements in art. We've got the forms of this social art from the West only in the 18th century. We have a very deep tradition of icons and this mystical spiritual art, where the material world, this material beauty, these truncles of French art, or I don't know, it's a first step for the real beauty, spiritual beauty. So it's we can see here the struggle against the forms and formal beauty. So it's a little bit another version. You are an artist here not because you have a studio or work for any industry. traditionally, like it was in the second half of 20th century. But because you have this way of life, you made the first step in the spiritual staircase to the heaven. Yeah, you say goodbye to the daily life. You became creative person.
Yes.
And you have now this Western Protestant specialization. If you're an artist, you
can do it all.
Yes, it was like that. Everybody was a movie director, fashion designer, poet, musician. It's just what is necessary right now. You're totally ready. You not prepare yourself. You not fight for the freedom. You not fight for the art. You just do it right now. Yeah. And it was a big culture. Yeah. Now it's necessary to fix it and to represent the young generations.
Is it primary in Saint Petersburg, or is it strong in Moscow too?
Traditionally, Leningrad, Saint Petersburg was a city of opposition. Even in the hard Stalin time, 1949, it was so-called Leningrad judgment. It's where killed all the top of Leningrad party nobilities. Yeah, and it was bigger. And at the same time, it was first article about Stilyagi. It's very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it began in Stalin time, even this fashion movement. What at the end I told you, the new power. It began this new power of not ideology, but the maybe surface of texture of your aura. Yeah, it's not fixed. It's now the fight in art goes not in political way. It's for the new feeling of life. It's not fixed in text yet. So it's a front of battlefield. Now it's not a lot of people thinking that we living between something and what's going on now have no meaning. I think it's like a rush of cultural militarization, like it was between two world wars. But it's where France, like ideological machines, huge constructions. Here it's in different parts of the world, people from different spheres of knowledge, from science, from mystic, from psychedelic, from music, religion, everything. They, like in contemporary war, small group of professionals going to create the whole. Yeah, and then a lot of people going for freedom.
It's funny, your pre-communist area made you mention religion as one of the last things.
No, religion, it's a beautiful thing. Everything is religious. I don't know. Our word, it means that we saying truth. And what to saying truth? It's speaking with the God.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Like in Denmark right now, every time you mention religion, people think about Muslims. How is it here?
You see, my grandfather was a Turkish, so in the late 19th century. So partly I'm Muslim, and so Allah Akbar.
But it's very nice. It's very nice to see and hear Russian underground expressed by a Turkish descendant here in Russia. It's fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Hvorsmål klart, det var udveksling af idéer og kultur, og det var rigtig godt.
Vi har i hvert fald haft et fantastisk møde her med nogle russiske, både unge og lidt ældre kunstnere, og haft pingpong på kryds og tværs, og det er vi meget taknemmelige for. Tak skal du have, Anna.
Til Christianias fødselsdag udveksling, så det russiske bande kommer til Christiania, og Og jeg synes, den plan skal komme til virkeligheden. Det er rigtig godt. Fortsættelse af vores ting, som vi sætter i gang.
Om du tror, det her det er sådan en æggekage, men det er meget mere end en æggekage. Du tror, det er et eller andet stykke pap, ikke? Men det smager bare fucking godt.
Glæder du dig til, du kommer hjem, Mikkel?
Nej. Jo, jeg gør, men jeg er også god til at lave mad til mig selv. Men jeg går ikke i byen. Her kan du gå i byen jo hjem. Og du kan få noget nyt mad hver eneste dag. Hver eneste dag i året. Ja, det er jo fantastisk. Der er brødre, fordi vi har drukket armensk grappa. 52%.
65%. This is what we get.
Vi skal lige drikke kaffe. Så går vi. Så vi hjem og arbejde igen på Christiania.
Julie, thank you for having us Danes visiting you, nice Russian folks. What do you think about the Danes who has had visited you here in Russia?
Well, actually, this is very wonderful. I thought that Danish were boring, but they're not. Yeah, you're wonderful, really. Yeah, all of you, really. I thought, what is Denmark? Denmark should be very boring. But actually, people from Denmark are very funny.
Ja, som jeg har forstået situationen, så er der lige kommet en ekstra regning her på, jeg ved ikke, altså jeg har bestilt en kop kaffe og et glas rødvin, det er jeg parat til at betale for. Men ellers har vi afregnet maden én gang. Det er også rimeligt nok, fordi hvis man nu bliver hængende længe, som vi jo gør, altså, så skal vi jo også betale for nattesæde.
Йотун чузен ніхуна, мен я хаорна ден.
I sit in my blue house for days on end and stare at the roses in the closet. When I go to Chinatown, I get drunk and never get laid. My mind is set up, there's going to be trouble. You should have seen me reading Max. My psychoanalyst thinks I'm perfectly right. I won't say the Lord's Prayer. I have mystical visions and cosmic vibrations. America. I still haven't told you what you did to Uncle Max after he came home from Russia. I'm addressing you! Are you going to live your emotional life to live by Time magazine? I'm obsessed by Time magazine. I read it every week. Its cover stares at me every time I fling past the corner candy store. I read it in the basement of the Berkeley Public Library. I read it. It's always telling me about responsibility. Businessmen are serious. Movie producers are serious. Everybody's serious but me. It occurs to me that I am America. I'm talking to myself again. Asia is rising against me. I haven't got a Chinaman's chance. I'd better consider my national resources. My national resources consist of 2 joints of marijuana, millions of genitals, and unpublishable private literature that goes 500 miles an hour, and 24,000 mental institutions. Nothing about my privacy and the millions of underprivileged who live in my flower pot under the light of 500 suns. I have abandoned the whorehouses of France. 10 years is the next to go. My ambition is to be president, despite the fact that I'm a Catholic. America, how can I rally to leave your silly moves? I will continue like Henry Ford, my stroke is also individual as his automobiles. Also, they're all different sexes. America, I will sell you strokes for $2,500 a piece. $500 down on your own stroke. America, free Tom Mooney. America, save the Spanish loyalists. America, Tango has been said he must not die. America, I'm the Spansboro boys. America, when I was 7, Mama took me to come in a cell meeting. They told us to line up a band for them singing and doing Spansboro. And to the love dance, and everybody was yelling and sentimental about the work and work and all sorts of sincere. You have no idea what it was to the party was in 1935. Scandinavian was a grand old nation, and we don't know. Mother blood made me cry. I once saw Israel and to blame everybody must have been a spy. America, you don't really want to go to war. America, it's them bad Russians. It's them Russians, them Russians, them Russians, and them Chinamen, and them Russians. The Russians wants to eat us alive. The Russians power mad. She wants to take our cars from our garages. Her wants to grab Chicago. Her needs a regret digest. Her wants out of our plans in Siberia. Him big bureaucracy running out for the stashes. That's no good. Him making insulin reads. Him need big black niggers. Her make us all work 16 hours a day. America, this is quite serious. America, this is the impression I get from looking at the television sets. America, is this correct? I better get right down to the job. It's true. I don't want to join the army or turn lasses in precision, parts factories. I'm nearsighted and psychopathic anyway. America, I'm putting my queer shoulder to the wheel.